Hey folks, it's Matt Gurney. I am the editor of the National Post comment section. I'm a columnist for the paper as well. These are the basement tapes for the 40th consecutive day. I'm in my basement, and I know a lot of you are as well. We're all adjusting to new realities of physical distancing or social isolation or whatever you want to call it. We've been wanting to bring you guys some videos, and you'll be seeing more from me and other members of the comment section team. But we can't leave our houses right now, so we're improvising, let's say. I wanted to start by mentioning something to you, and it's a bit of inside baseball, but I hope you'll indulge me just for a second. As you can imagine, many of you who are at home and finding a way to work there ongoing basis, or many of you who are out of work, to put it mildly, things have changed in the last 6 weeks or so. One of the things, though, that has not changed is that your governments still don't like to give you information. And with the news media, just like the rest of the country, working from home, working in unusual conditions, we're struggling to get by too. We're adapting to a changed world, but it's been nice to at least have some consistency in that no one who actually has access to important information ever wants to share it with us. Let me give you two examples, and they're completely unrelated, except for the fact that they've both happened in the last couple of days. First example, on the weekend, I had a really simple question I needed answered by the Ontario government. It was for a column I was writing about some of the emergency regulations in Ontario as part of the pandemic response. Because I'd been hearing from some readers who'd been emailing me that OPP officers were shutting down some travel within the province. And I didn't think there was anything in the emergency regulations that would permit it. So I emailed the OPP, I arranged an interview with them, and to the OPP's credit, they actually did give me a really good, concise, thorough answer. The other issue that came up, and that's my email there, sorry about that, thrilled at the basement tape. The other answer that came up, though, is I'd emailed the government. And I also said, hey, I'm going to talk to the OPP about what their version is, but I want to know from you guys what the directive to them has been, what you've actually told the OPP itself. And I got a response back pretty quickly. And the response was, yeah, we're not going to comment on that. Go talk to the OPP. And that made me really annoyed. And it wasn't because I haven't been blown off by a comms guy before. Believe me, it's a routine event. What made me mad about it was that I was, in fact, asking the government what they told the OPP. I wasn't asking the OPP what they thought they'd been told. I was there asking the government, who works for me and for you and for all of us, to give me their answer. And they just completely blew me off. So anyway, I sent a series of other emails and texts, and I was able to eventually get an answer. But it goes to show you that the government's first immediate response to a legitimate question on a matter of public interest, way too often, is just to shut it down. The other issue popping up, and you guys would know this, Nova Scotia, the shooting that has happened there, it's still an evolving story. We don't know everything we need to know about that yet. But one of the things we already know is that the RCMP released a series of questions and answers where they asked themselves the questions and then provided the answers. But instead of actually just talking to real reporters and letting them do their jobs, the RCMP just thought they'd cut us out of the loop and ask themselves questions and then not even answer them. In one classic example of how the government or its agencies like to deal with the media, the RCMP basically gave a no comment answer to a question it had asked itself. This is a problem. We're all locked up in our homes. We're all wondering when we can get out of this. We need clarity and good information from our governments, and they don't want to give it to us any more now than they did before. We don't know yet what's going to change because of this pandemic. It's too soon to say. One thing that would be nice to change is how responsible our governments think we are, and maybe, just maybe, they'll be willing to actually answer some honest questions about matters that do concern everyone who lives in this country.